I am Jennifer Normanley, head of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. I would like to start with the land acknowledgement. It was developed by the Native Advisory Council here at UMass Amherst. The University of Massachusetts acknowledges that it was founded and built on the unceded homelands of the Pocumtuck Nation on the land of the Norwottuck community. We begin with gratitude for nearby waters and lands. We recognize these lands and waters as important relations with which we are all interconnected and depend on to sustain life and well-being. The Pocumtuck had connections with these lands for millennia. Over 400 years of colonization, the Pocumtuck peoples were displaced. Many joined their Algonquian relatives to the east, south, west, and north. That includes Mashpee, Aquinnah, Wampanoag, Nipmuc, Narragansett, Mohegan, Pequot, Mohican communities, and the Abenaki and other nations of the Wabanaki Confederacy. These native peoples still maintain connections and relationships of care for these lands today. We also acknowledge that the University of Massachusetts Amherst is a land-grant university. As part of the Morrill Land Grant Act, portions of land from 82 native nations west of the Mississippi were sold to provide the resources to found and build this university. As an active first step towards decolonization, we encourage you to learn more about the native nations whose homelands UMass Amherst now resides on, and the indigenous homelands on which you live and work. We also invite you to deepen your relationship to these living lands and waters. The QR code on your programs directs you to the UMass Land Acknowledgement website. Thank you. I am very pleased to welcome everyone to our annual award ceremony. BMB faculty and staff are collectively very proud of our BMB majors, graduate students and postdocs, and it has been our pleasure to have played some part in your UMass success stories. We have particularly enjoyed working with you as TAs, peer mentors, peer advisors, BMB club members, and in our research and teaching laboratories. Today we are pleased to recognize you for your excellent scholarship and to thank you for your service to BMB. First, I want to acknowledge some of the staff who are supporting this event today. The fabulous food that we enjoy on this campus here today is provided by the Campus Auxiliary Services. As you likely know from the news, the campus is currently grieving the tragic death of Auxiliary Services staff member Emma McDonald, and we are truly grateful to the Auxiliary Services staff who have provided us with food today during this very, very difficult time for them. I also want to acknowledge BMB staff who are less well known to BMB majors on a day-to-day basis, but who are the heart and soul of BMB community, supporting us in everything that we do. Okay, so where are you hiding? Okay, 4 of our staff members in particular, Erin Flanagan, Linnell Kozankowski, Susan Anderson, Hannah Hollister, these 4 are behind the events that bring us together. They organize the ice cream social at the beginning of the academic year, the snacks in 913 LGRT during finals, they will be there shortly, the hot chocolate gatherings in the winter months, the BMB swag that we send graduating seniors on their way with, and today's celebration for your accomplishments. So please join me in thanking them for their efforts. All right, and so before I hand over the proceedings to Dr. Springer, we have an award established by a friend of the department that is in my name and affords me the opportunity to acknowledge the excellent work of my faculty colleagues. I'm very pleased to present the Jennifer Normanley Award for Extraordinary Service to BMB to Dr. Labill Tyler. So this is the format of this proceedings. We make you come up here and we say nice things about you, but you don't have to give a speech. So here is the award, and now I'm going to say some nice things about you. So in our work as faculty, we focus quite a bit on mentoring students. On this campus, we also have a long-standing practice of fostering faculty peer mentoring, which has been shown to be very important in the faculty careers and ultimately translates to better mentoring of students by faculty. Peer mentoring takes time and requires someone to take the lead in organizing and sustaining a successful faculty mentoring group. Dr. Tyler is that person in BMB. As described by a faculty colleague, over 6 years ago, Dr. Tyler co-pioneered or co-created a peer mentoring group among BMB lecturers that has since expanded to 9 faculty members from across 5 CNS departments. I'm quoting now, "While we function as a mutual mentoring group without a hierarchical structure, the trust and respect that Dr. Tyler garners, along with her willingness, has positioned her as a clear leader of this group. She is the reason the group continues to meet. She determines meeting times, creates weekly agendas, and facilitates the meetings with such intention that every participant can contribute to discussions." Another colleague states, "I appreciate her receptiveness to our thoughts and interests when selecting discussion topics, and her flexibility to switch a discussion topic on a given week if someone needs to work through a question or experience. Without her continued support, I am sure our mentoring group would have fizzled out years ago." This group began as a way for lecturers to connect with one another, discuss challenges and successes, and build community. A central theme relates to their professional development as educators. Dr. Tyler has extensive departmental and college-level service experience, including significant involvement in our primary disciplinary organization, the American Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology. Nationally, Dr. Tyler has been a steering committee member of an NSF-funded project to create an inclusive community of science educators in the evaluation of student learning. As a department head, I am truly grateful to Dr. Tyler for her leadership in the support of faculty colleagues. This award is a small token of my gratitude for her tremendous service to the department. And now, without further ado, I hand it over to Dr. Springer, who will bring you up to celebrate you for your accomplishments.
Thank you. Just change this a bit. All right. Well, welcome, awardees, friends, family, supporters, and BMB staff and faculty. Thank you for being here to celebrate our awardees. This is always a fun event. And I do want to say, for those of you who are standing in the back, as is very typical at higher education events, the entire front row is empty, and you are welcome to come up here and sit. I always enjoy this event, and for me, events like this are really important, especially in this time of uncertainty and turmoil, and we're sending our graduates off. It matters to me that we come together and acknowledge our accomplishments, that we're supportive of each other, and that we reaffirm our common goals and values. So let's enjoy our chance to celebrate today. The way this is going to work, I'm going to read the awards and the awardee name, and that person will come up, and then I will call on the person who is going to speak about the awardee. And if you are a speaker, do please try to keep it brief, because as you can see, we have a long list of awardees, and I know most of you cannot say enough about your awardee. So we're going to start today with the Linda Slakey Award. And this is an award for someone with high enthusiasm for participating in laboratory research. And it is to support a student who might otherwise not have access to performing research. And our awardee this year is Benjamin Feldman. And speaking for Ben is Dr. Suanle Mafu.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So when I think about students who make being a research mentor especially rewarding, Ben is on the top of my list, or quite high up there. And from our earliest interactions, he joined my lab in the fall of 2025. It was clear that he is a very curious person, and he's also very reliable, and he has genuine enthusiasm for scientific discovery. And I am very happy to speak on his behalf for this particular award. He's been throughout his time that we've worked together, he's been someone I can actually count on. He is well organized, he works extremely hard, and communicates clearly and very thoughtfully. And these qualities make him a pleasure to work with, and they're also excellent for a developing scientist. And in my case, his greatest strength is also his greatest weakness. He spends way too much time in the lab. We're really working on that a little bit here. His research project centers on gene discovery and pathway reconstruction of terpene natural-based products. That's what we work on. And these molecules play critical roles in defense and communication. What he studies basically are enzymes that are important, terpene synthases that are important for chemical diversity. And right now he's just looking at these particular chemicals as in flavors and taste in lettuce. What I value most about Ben is that he's very engaged in the process. He picks up his new concepts very quickly. So we've been working only together this is our second semester. And he thinks carefully about his experiments and he asks excellent questions. At this point, he's largely independent and he manages his time very effectively and he carries out his experiments accurately and consistently. And that's always something that's great to have. It has been genuinely rewarding to watch him grow as a scientist, and these positive characteristics that he has will carry him through on his next steps in his career, and he wants to go into academic research, and I feel that these are just excellent traits that he has. More importantly, he cares deeply about other students and he helps other people, and he wants other people to succeed. Through this, he is a tutor with the Learning Resource Center, and he's also a teaching assistant for a biology course, 285. And these roles reflect that not only his academic strength, but also his patience, his generosity, and his desire to contribute to our academic community. So, in summary, he is an exceptional lung scientist, and he has a strong work ethic and a genuine curiosity and a real passion for learning and mentoring others. And it is an absolute pleasure to work with him in the lab, and I look forward to working with him this summer and into the fall of into the next academic year. And we are grateful for the support that the Linda Slakey Award will afford him this opportunity in the coming year. Okay.
All right, our next award is the Jessica Hayes Scholarship. This was funded by the family of Jessica Hayes, who was a BMB staff member. And it is to honor a student who has a record of high achievement, high academic achievement, and also bears the qualities of boldness in pursuing non-traditional challenges and a great breadth of interests. We have so many phenomenal BMB majors that we have 2 awardees this year for this. And I'm going to call them up, but when the speeches are done, I want the 2 of you to stay here because we have a great photo op for you afterwards. So the first of these 2 awardees is Luke Kennewell. And speaking for Luke are Hannah Hollister and Nancy Robbins.
Hello. As you can probably tell, neither of us is Alice Chung, who's in your program to speak for Luke right now. But Nancy and I have worked with Luke in various capacities across campus, as a peer advisor and as a TA for the introductory biochemistry lab. And personally, I love hearing Luke's stories about working in the permaculture garden, where he's a part of a community of folks who are committed to being stewards of the land while growing some of the food that students eat in the dining halls. And he's finding ways to combine that work with his research on plant reproduction, which, speaking of your research, Alice did write something for you that I'm going to read now. Luke demonstrates a strong work ethic both in the lab and academically. He's highly motivated to learn and consistently shows commitment to his responsibilities, even while juggling academics and extracurricular activities. He approaches challenges with readiness and is very receptive to feedback and new ideas that help him grow into a better scientist. He maintains a positive attitude, even when experiments fail. Luke is an effective communicator who asks thoughtful and insightful questions that enhance his understanding. Notably, he works well in team settings and is always open to sharing ideas and teaching new students. His accomplishments have already earned him an internship at the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation, and overall, Luke is a strong student who diligently makes a positive contribution to the lab.
So Luke is a TA for us in our introductory biochemistry lab. And with his work in the permaculture garden, he even made us tea. Like, he harvested the leaves, dried them, and didn't just give us chunky leaves to float in our hot water. Like, he put them in tea bags and then brought them to the lab, and the tea is delicious. And that's just the care he takes with everything that he does. He's passionate about education, having worked as an assistant preschool teacher and now as a TA. He's approachable, he's fun, and he's full of so much joy. Congratulations.
All right, our next Hayes awardee is Kush Patel. And speaking for Kush is Dr. Laura Dena.
Hi, everyone. As Amy mentioned, this award recognizes a BMB major who pairs academic excellence with bold curiosity and a willingness to take on challenges that don't always fit neatly into a CV or a resume. And to me, that's exactly the kind of student that Kush is. So as you all know, I teach 423, and for parents and family members that are here, you might have heard about 423 from your students here. And that's exactly where I first met Kush. He was engaged, thoughtful, and clearly invested in really understanding the material, not just getting through it. And yes, he was committed enough to show up to an 8:30 a.m. class, even though attendance was not mandatory. And as we all know, that's already award-worthy. And yes, he didn't always make it on time, right at 8:30. But when he did come in, he was ready to go. He was focused, he was prepared, and immediately part of the discussion. And I think any of us will take that trade-off any day. That same energy he's carried over to being a TA for the class. And he hasn't just helped run the course, he's shaped the experience for other students. Whether it's through going through discussion sessions with students, troubleshooting tough problems, or just being someone that students feel comfortable going to. What makes Kush especially deserving of this award, though, is not just how well he's done academically, but what he's chosen to do beyond the classroom. And as an example, growing up in Kenya, he saw firsthand how financial disparities shape access to healthcare and ultimately health outcomes. And he turned that awareness into action. He initiated and led multiple community fundraisers to provide basic resources to underserved families, translating insight into meaningful and tangible impact. He's also taken roles here at UMass that reflect range and purpose, including being a peer advisor, a teaching assistant, and harm reduction ambassador. And these are not just things that you add into a CV or resume, but they, to me, reflect a consistent commitment to showing up for others. Kush is curious, driven, thoughtful, and not afraid to step outside the expected path. And that combination is exactly what this award is meant to recognize. So it's my pleasure to present this award to Kush. Please join me in congratulating him.
All right, so this is our award. The Hayes Award is our award that comes with the big check. So they need to take some time to take those pictures. So our next award is the Christopher Stone Award. This is the inaugural year for the Stone Award. It was established this year through the generosity of BMB alumnus Christopher Stone, class of '87. He wanted to support current or rising BMB seniors in their professional goals. Chris is deeply appreciative for his time at UMass Amherst and how his experience as part of the BMB community specifically shaped his academic path and personal growth. He believes that the field of biochemistry and molecular biology offers a unique opportunity to make meaningful contributions to the world and wants this award to support BMB seniors as they use their degrees to pursue fulfilling careers and lives. So this year we have 2 awardees for the inaugural Stone Scholarship, and the first of those is Minahil Gul. And I will be speaking for Minahil. So Minahil is graduating in May with a dual degree in Biochemistry, Molecular Biology, and Neuroscience, and is completing an honors thesis in the SCUDA lab. She joined us in fall 2023 after transferring credits from Springfield Technical and Holyoke Community Colleges. But she hit the ground running when she got to UMass Amherst and has made her mark here in BMB. In her application for the scholarship, she writes of the experience with the diverse population of UMass that the Islamic values that I hold help me accept that everyone lives according to their ideologies, cultures, and religions, and it is important to appreciate that which is different or new to you. Minahil came to the US from Pakistan at age 18 and describes coming from a place where healthcare is not equally accessible to all, and how this has reinforced my commitment to become a physician who advocates for patients with limited access to resources. She says, what excites me most about biochemistry and molecular biology is the connection to various fields of science and medicine. The ability to bridge molecular mechanisms with clinical outcomes is what drew me to the field. Where I know Minahil best is in her role as one of our BMB peer advisors. She helps provide advice on course selection, academic plans, and other support for navigating the BMB major. She is always welcoming, calm, and steady, working with students who may be anxious about their path. Our peer advisors are often the first point of contact, especially for majors who have something anxious and they don't have time to make an appointment. So it is so important to have her compassion for others and her confidence that we'll all work out, that gives these students reassurance and a sense of agency. Her perspective as a transfer student, commuter, and a student worker has really been invaluable in helping students in our major navigating their own unique challenges. I am so pleased that we can honor Minahil with the Christopher Stone Scholarship. Congratulations. Our next awardee is Yara Calais. Speaking for Yara is Dr. Elizabeth Merles. Do you want to?
Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit first about how I know Yara and then connect that to this award. So I first met Yara in fall of 2023. She was a student in my cell and molecular biology class, and after that she came on as a teaching assistant for that class as well. She's curious. She was in my office hours asking questions, not afraid to do that. Many students are. And she was always driven to learn and make a difference. That always came across to me in speaking with Yara. Yara has always taken an active role in supporting other students, not just as a TA, but also she works as a research mentor in the LRC, the Learning Resource Center, which is there to help support students find research opportunities on campus. So a tricky thing to do, and Yara's there to support students in doing that. So no matter the task, Yara always shows up ready to go with a great big smile on her face, and we laugh and have a lot of fun when things kind of go awry here and there. So how did Yara come to have this approach and attitude? I don't know, but she certainly had to navigate this unusual path, which I think gave her a great appreciation for education and fostered a desire to develop skills and knowledge that would allow her to contribute to research, specifically disease research. So Yara grew up in Syria during the war and had to adjust to the limitations of that experience. One of the things she mentioned in her application was studying her multiplication tables by candlelight. That is dedication. After moving to the US, there's also an adjustment period that happens, right? Different expectations, different materials. So Yara had to kind of move and adjust with that to succeed. And clearly she did, because she's here now with a double major in biochemistry and molecular biology and neuroscience. Along the way, she's worked in a research lab in Dr. Chong-Hee Pak's lab, studying genetic and mechanistic drivers for neurological disease. She also interned at Novartis looking for proteins associated with cancer. And so she's made the most of her time as undergraduate, and she's now off to the next step of her career. She's planning to pursue a PhD in cellular and molecular biology. We are very proud of her and pleased to recognize her with this award. So congratulations, Yara.
All right, our next award has many winners, and we are not going to actually have something to say for each one of them, but we will read their names. As we read their names, the awardees come up because we have a token for you. You may applaud, but please don't drown out the next name because we want everyone to be recognized. Also, winners, as you come up, please stay over here by the clock because we want to get one big picture of all of you at the end. So reading the names will be Tian Bui and Amanda Tuttle. Okay.
Youssef Al-Attar. Tiame Araya. Surya Arun Kumar. Anna Atanasova. Katie Barbosa. Arundhati Butt. Annalie Carroll. Wiku Jelik. Elsa Cranston. Kirti Desati. Minahil Gull. Cole Haig. Zoha Hawk. Jenny He. Yara Kaylee. Adam LaChapelle. Shurab Lama. Jadine Lee. Eddie Lee. Finn Martin. Rashna Nabir. Frank Pacione. Darsh Patel. Himani Patel. Lucy Fan. Zachary Roos. Emilio Salazar. Samantha Schneelock. David Spiewak. Nicole Steinmeier. Austin Tao. Sami Trivedi. McKing Trum. Emma Vaughn. Abe Yayavridi. And Joyce Zhang.
She's doing a pan.
Hold on, everybody. Wait one second. I get a picture of everybody.
Yeah. No. Paparazzi over here. All right. And continuing in the spirit of service, our next award is the BMB Leading Strand Award. This is to a biochemistry major who has shown leadership, initiative, and demonstrated strength in working with BMB majors. We have 2 awardees today. One is laboratory and lecture teaching assistant, Annalie Carroll. And speaking for Annalie is Nancy Robbins.
If you don't know Annalie, you're really missing out. One of my first tasks as the new manager of laboratory instruction was to hire undergraduate lab assistants. As a team, we hired 2, and we couldn't have possibly made better decisions. Annalie had little to no lab experience when she applied for her job. In the interview, she talked about doing inventory at TJ Maxx and about her babysitting experience. But we just knew, and we knew we had to hire her. We have been honored to watch Annalie grow into the scientist she is today. She's a natural leader. She easily and seamlessly takes charge when necessary. In fact, I think she has some TAs doing mini preps for her tomorrow morning. And she's confident in helping others. She takes initiative. For example, when we found out the plasmid we work with in our introductory labs has a deletion, our lab assistant team was excited to work together to look further into it. And Annalie took on this project as her own in 426. And she's so passionate about it that she's continuing to work on it and try to solve it before she leaves, which is only in, a couple of weeks. One of her greatest strengths is her ability to work and connect with others. She's a natural teacher. Her students, high school and college, are so lucky to work with her. Annalie can read a room. She knows when to quietly support a student, when to lock in and do a million mini preps or kinetic assays, and when to have a dance party. She's brilliant, she's funny, she's kind. She's a delight to work with, and we'll miss her terribly. The hard work she's put into the teaching labs will continue to benefit students for many years to come. Congratulations.
All right, our second Leading Strand awardee is Eddie Lee. Speaking for Eddie is Dr.
Right, so Eddie has been a TA for Biochem 285 for 5 semesters in a row, which is basically as long as anyone can TA for a class in the major. So he didn't ever turn away from it. During that time, he's supported hundreds of students. So this is a class that typically has a pretty large enrollment, between 100, 200 students. He's also supported 2 instructors during this time. One of them is myself. The other is Dr. Dong Wang, who can't be here right now because he's teaching. But there's a transition that happens when instructors switch over teaching the same course, and Eddie has been really instrumental in helping that happen in a smooth way as possible. So for the past 2 semesters, Eddie has taken on a role that we call the lead TA, and that is someone who gets to do more work and has to do some administrative things behind the scenes, pays attention to what other TAs are doing, helps coordinate that, summarizes things that are going on in the course, gives that information to the instructors, helps us keep things moving along when you have a lot of moving parts to a class. And so Eddie has been excellent at that. He's great at sort of summarizing information, giving the feedback, all of those wonderful things that have made my life a lot easier, and Dr. Wang's as well. So Eddie's effort has been indispensable for those things. On a personal note, Eddie is a pretty quiet guy, I would say. He's very humble. He's not out there talking about himself or telling anybody what he's up to, but he is really skilled at understanding biology. He's dialed into the details, and this has been recognized in his research work, where he has worked and received the Rising Researcher Award for that as well. So he understands the biology. He's clearly thought about what's tricky about certain things in the course context, and he knows what to look for when students don't understand something. So Eddie, he's not worried about sounding important or taking on a glamorous job. He also volunteers for sort of the grunt work that we have when we run a course, like spending a lot of time with our printer, photocopying things, scanning things in, all that stuff. Eddie is there to support us, and so we really are grateful for his general helpfulness, willingness to step in whenever something needs to be done. This is appreciated by multiple instructors and obviously many other students that he has supported over the years. So thank you, Eddie, for everything you've done, and congratulations.
Our next award is the Carol Ryan Award, named after a former BMB staff member. And this is for a biochemistry major who has significantly contributed to the department through service to peer advising and departmental events. And this year's awardee is David Spiewak. Speaking for David is Hannah Hollister.
Hello again. I realize that a lot of you probably don't know who I am. I actually took over Carol's position when she got hired, so people don't see my face, but I'm sure I've emailed every student in this room. But one of the best things about this job is working with our fantastic team of peer advisors. Now, David showed initiative very early on. We have weekly group meetings with our peer advisors, but when students are new and they're still doing their training, attendance at those meetings is optional. But even so, David was there for almost every meeting his first semester. He participated in all of our discussions, and he even volunteered to run tours for prospective students, which helped me out significantly, but was really impressive to our whole team. And that enthusiasm has continued throughout his time as a peer advisor. David continually steps up to the plate, doing jobs that don't often get seen or appreciated, like managing technical issues with Zoom, making sure meetings stay on track. He's so good at putting together event proposals that we essentially put him in charge of coordinating events. And he's a patient and supportive advisor who knows exactly what to say to help students gain some perspective and really consider their options. Also, he's great in a crisis. Now you'll know why I asked you about this. Earlier this year, a biology major was sent to our office by accident. Now, David was going to send them to biology's peer advisors, but when he realized they wouldn't make it to their office in time, he decided to jump on Zoom with biology's peer advisors to let them know what was going on. And then the bio peer advisors took their laptop, brought it to one of biology's staff advisors so that the student could actually meet with somebody who could help them. And the student got into the class, which only happened because David was thinking on his feet. And that's just one of the many ways that David has had a positive impact during his time here. He approaches everything he does with maturity, thoughtfulness, and care, and we have been incredibly grateful to work with you. Thank you, David.
Right. So our next award is the American Society for Biochemistry and Molecular Biology Award. This is an award that we give to juniors showing promise in biochemistry research. And this year we have 2 awardees. The first of them is Addison Lepak.
And speaking for Addie is Dr. Sloan Mafu.
Afternoon again. So when Addie joined my lab as a freshman, I couldn't have imagined all the work she was going to do and how impactful she was going to be. And when she joined, we were in a crisis. I think everyone in the lab gets to hear about this. We had a very serious contamination issue going on, and basically we hadn't gotten any data for over a year. And so Addie literally joined to be our dishwasher. And she cleaned those glasses, and that contamination went away. And basically, she systematically decontaminated the lab, and now we've got results for the past 2 years. And so that's something that we're all eternally grateful for. But she quickly became more than that. She helped us to recover, to reorganize, and to move forward. And at the same time, she learned to become a scientist herself. And she has grown to be an exceptional researcher. And one of her greatest strengths, though, is really to be able to dive into a project and to understand the literature deeply. And so she's one of the few people that I've had to move around very many different types of projects, and she's able to really adapt. And that's something that I've really capitalized and overutilized over the years. So she's worked on a fungus that is involved in, she's worked on understanding how a fungus is involved in defense, how our terpenes are involved in defense and lifestyle adaptation. And she's also currently worked on enzyme specificity and types of projects. And she's carried this project to our lab class where she's a TA. And so she TAs and she uses that, and we use that particular project for teaching in our class. And as well as that, she has presented all her work at the undergraduate research conference. So beyond her research, as I've mentioned, she is also a great teaching assistant. She participates in our outreach, so we've got a summer outreach class. And I think one of the other things that's really important about Addie is just her character. She is the type of person that builds community. She makes people comfortable. She can read the room, so the type of the person that makes everybody who is coming in to the lab comfortable. And so she is got this team building capacity and personality within her. And I think that is going to take her very far in life, because she's going to be that person that really bonds the room. So besides the science, she's got a wonderful personality. And basically, she's an outstanding young scientist with a strong work ethic. She's got intellectual maturity. She owns up to her mistakes. She also owns up to her successes and challenges. And she's just got these leadership qualities. And her contributions to the lab will be long-lasting. I'll remember her. She'll be one of my favorite for a while to come. And I am grateful for the opportunity to mentor her. And she's well deserving of this particular award.
right, and our next awardee is Sydney Major. And speaking for Sydney is Dr. Lila Guerra.
I think the amount of applause said volumes. It really is a pleasure to be able to celebrate all of our majors, and of course, I get to celebrate one who has chosen to work in my lab. And she's typical of a biochem major in the sense that she walks in the door and she's straight A, and she's completely committed to what she's doing. And Sid showed me, we're having, by the way, our 2nd year anniversary today, or within a day or two. She came and she showed the enthusiasm and the motivated attitude that she really wanted to do research. And I thought, well, that's great. You know, they all come in the door like that, but are they really going to do it? And then she said, and by the way, I have to warn you that I want to do my junior year semester in China. And I'm like, okay, now we got a problem. We have somebody who says they're very motivated, but they're going to go off to China at a key point in their undergraduate research career. But what I learned very quickly was it was the real thing, first of all. She hit the ground running. She's terrific in the lab. She's working on a molecular chaperone, HSP70, and how it recognizes many different proteins to keep the health of your proteome. And this is something that has many manifestations in disease origins. And she understands that, cares about it, but she also approaches the problem with both a biochemical and a chemical interest, which I didn't even pick up on it until I found out she was going to all the chemistry seminars, in addition to performing in her biochem classes, in addition to doing her Chinese minor. And she started out, in fact, at the Chinese immersion school, and the rest is sort of history. She has done a wonderful job. Even when she came to me, I was worried about the China thing. I got that behind me. And then she said, oh, I just blew out my ACL, and I'm not going to be able to walk for, a month or two. And I'm like, okay, she's going to be able to go to China. She'll manage that. She's doing great in the lab, and now she can't come to the lab. Anyway, it just didn't slow her down a bit. And she, as a result, has a publication already. Last year, I brought her to an international meeting last summer, and I usually expect to have to introduce my students to various big names in the field. But before I knew it, she was introducing me to a lot of different people. And she had met all the grad students, all the undergrad. It was in San Diego. She'd visited all the high points of San Diego. She hadn't missed a poster. And after my talk, she said to me, you pointed out that there's no structure of HSC70 actually out there. And I said, yeah, that's right. She said, well, that's a hole. So I said, okay, do it. And so what do you do when you go to China for a semester? Is you start crystal trays so that they're growing crystals while you're off in China. So this is just Sid in a nutshell. She's terrific. I don't have to get misty because she's going to be around for another year. This award is great because it's to a junior. She's going to be a star, and I'm just so pleased to be able to have this celebration for her.
All right. Our next award is the Henry Little Award. This is an award in which the BMB department recognizes a top biochemistry major who has shown academic excellence and excellence in research in biochemistry. We really always have many excellent candidates for this. And this year, we have 3 awardees for the Henry Little Award. The first of which is Rachel Griffiths. And arriving just in time and speaking for Rachel is Dr. Lee Jun Ma.
It has been such a great honor to introduce Rachel, and I think Rachel has been working in our lab for 3 years, about 3 years. It's amazing. So looking at Rachel, so first of all, I thought look at the individual, right? So Rachel, the most impression people will get is her gleaming eyes, sparkling from her eye. The scene to describe Rachel. Rachel is so curious. So she's a curious mind. She always asks questions. Sometimes we say, look at Rachel, feel a little shy. I mean, she asking questions in the lab. She's not shy at all. So we always enjoy having Rachel around. And so, of course, when the student come into the lab, we're inviting them to do the research. So it's our research. But for Rachel, very quickly turn on to Rachel's research. So it's her curiosity, her creativity, and her responsibility for the project transform the research for itself. And how to describe a student. So I was thinking, a lot of microbiology labs, they do their pyramids, right? So the petri dish, you poured it up. So how many petri dishes Rachel went through could create a pyramid higher than you? But because it's Rachel's project, never ever heard any complaint, too much work, too hard. No, that's not existing to me at all. Use her mental Melanie's description about Rachel is always attention to details, very devoted, very careful, and very artistic as well. So as a result, Rachel always produce reproducible result. So that is amazing. Because of reproductivity about Rachel's work, even in 3 years, we have 2 manuscripts under development. One hope to submit soon. The other one will prepare the data for the figures. But the most important thing is because she's so creative and she's so reliable, when she observes something not agree with our initial hypothesis, instead of for me to say, is there something wrong with your experiment? I will say, is there something wrong with our hypothesis? So because there's a push and the trust, we are establishing alternative hypothesis. I think this alternative hypothesis will open up the new field we didn't know before this line of work. So 2 papers we can see. I can imagine there are many papers have Rachel's name. That's my hope. And of course, Rachel is a shining star. Not only we know it, Rachel was grabbed by Pfizer as an intern. She already have a job lineup in Sloan Kettering Institution, exciting. And Rachel wants to take this moment to evaluate where she want to go. But I'm very confident with your curiosity and your creativity, that's no place you cannot go. So we're looking forward for you great success and come back to visit us.
All right, our next Henry Little awardee is Nicole Steinmeier. And speaking for Nicole is Dr. Elizabeth Beerling.
This must have been Lee Jun. So it's really been my pleasure and privilege to work with Nicole since spring 2023. And I think as soon as I talked to her, I felt that she already was at the stage, even at this young status as an undergrad, of thinking more like a graduate student. She's just interested in the science. She's curious about it. And she's obviously very bright. I mean, not only is she a 4.0 biochem major, she's also a math minor, which is not that common in our field, but will be great for her going forward. She's worked on a really challenging project. I think she can attest to that. We've been looking at how nitric oxide is important in plants and how it's controlled, and she's worked on 2 different groups of enzymes that control that. You may not realize nitric oxide is also really important in you for vasodilation, but in plants it's essential for fertility. So she's learned a whole variety of techniques, and one thing that's really great about working with Nicole is you show her something once, and she goes off and does it. It's her independence, ability to learn new technologies that have allowed her to excel in aspects of protein biochemistry, recombinant DNA technology, and she's trained herself in confocal microscopy. So she really has a whole suite of technologies under her belt. So one thing that's also really evident about Nicole is that she's very communicative, adaptable, and adventurous. And because of that, this January I sent her to Italy to work with one of our collaborators in Bologna. And there she was able, in just a couple of weeks, to purify proteins and derive new kinetic data. So again, this gave her another whole suite of expertise to go moving forward. She's also, of course, been a TA, but one thing that's also very interesting about Nicole is that she's a triathlete. So in between lab experiments, she goes off and runs and bikes and swims. So if that doesn't indicate how much energy this woman has, I don't know what will. So in any case, it's really been wonderful to work with you, Nicole, and I'm very excited that she already has a job lined up to stay in the department and work for one of our new faculty members. So I'm not really losing her. She's gonna still be around. And what she wants to do this summer to build on that energy is finishing hiking the 48 White Mountain peaks. So again, it's been great, and I really appreciate all the work you've done.
All right, our next awardee is Sami Trivedi. Is Dr. Jennifer Rauch.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Jenny Rauch. I'm an assistant professor in the biochemistry department, and it's my pleasure to introduce another one of this year's Henry Little awardees, Sami Trivedi. I first met Sami when he joined my lab as a sophomore in the fall of 2023, and it quickly became clear that he possessed a rare combination of intellectual curiosity, technical ability, and scientific maturity. Early on, he took on the challenge of working across two research groups, both my lab and Dan Hebert's lab, and he navigated that dual environment with a level of professionalism and independence that is uncommon at any stage of training, especially at the undergraduate level. In the lab, Sami has led an ambitious project investigating how mutations in the cellular receptor LRP1 alter ligand uptake and intracellular trafficking. This is work that sits at the intersection of cell biology and neurodegenerative disease, and Sami has made amazing contributions to our understanding. Along the way, he's mastered a wide range of experimental techniques and, more importantly, developed the ability to think critically about his data. He approaches problems with rigor and clarity, and he consistently asks the kinds of questions that move projects forward. I think some of my favorite interactions with Sami are just sitting in my office, going over his data with him, and just discussing the possibilities of this or that, and then the next thing I know, Sami just goes and does that experiment. I think what makes Sami especially distinctive is the breadth of his accomplishments, not only in my lab, but other labs that he's contributed into, including the Ma lab here at BMB. He's done summer research at Harvard Medical School. He has presented his work at multiple conferences. He has taken on meaningful mentorship roles to other undergraduates in the lab, as well as teaching roles within the department, serving as a TA for Biochem 424 and as a PLTL leader for Gen Chem and Orgo. At the same time, he has also pursued clinical work, including being an EMT, reflecting his genuine commitment to connecting scientific discovery to human health. So as a dual BMB neuroscience major with a perfect 4.0 academic record and an exceptional record of academic and research excellence, Sami exemplifies the spirit of this award, and it has been a privilege to work with him and watch him grow as a scientist. Congrats, Sami.
All right, our next award comes from the American Chemical Society, and this is an award for a graduating senior showing promise of research in biochemistry. And this year it goes to Joyce Zhang. Speaking for Joyce is Dr. Eric Streeter.
All right. Yeah. So my name is Eric Streeter. I'm a professor in the chemistry department, and so one of the most amazing things about being a faculty member is being able to watch students mature intellectually and learn how to think independently about their research, and that has certainly been the case for Joyce over the last few years. So Joyce joined my lab about 3 years ago, and worked with a very talented graduate student in the lab, and she learned how to express and purify mainly ubiquitin and ubiquitin chains. My lab works on protein degradation and ubiquitin-mediated protein degradation. And so she spent about 2.5 years learning how to do that. And the graduate student with whom she was working she graduated last year. And when Joyce came back in the fall, I felt like Joyce could actually direct her own project. And I think Joyce was very reluctant to do this at first. But we talked about the project, and I think she got quite excited. She wanted to learn how protein degradation was interacting with proteins that are regulating chromatin biology. And so she started this project completely independently, so she was driving this entirely by herself. She learned how to express and purify some very challenging proteins over the last 9 months. And over the last, or during the last 2 weeks or 3 weeks, she's actually obtained some very exciting results that suggest that there's an interplay between this chromatin complex and the proteasome. So I think that demonstrates Joyce's ability to operate completely by herself over the last year, which I have been very impressed with, and I think she's even surprised herself. So I'm incredibly proud of Joyce, and it's been a pleasure to watch her grow as an undergraduate researcher.
All right, every year the American Institute of Chemists allows us to award an award to a graduating senior, a graduate student, and a postdoc for achievement in research in biochemistry. This year our undergraduate award goes to Jenny He. Jenny works for Dr. Tayamanavan, who is not here today, but speaking for Jenny is Dr. Lamila.
So clearly I am not Jenny's principal investigator, but this is wonderful for me because I get the opportunity to tell you about one of the many areas in which Jenny has excelled. Her grades are top-notch. Jenny has been a student in my class. Her research advisor speaks very highly of her abilities in the lab, but she's also been a teaching assistant, and specifically for our genetics course. We do a lot of molecular mechanism in genetics, and students tend to find it pretty challenging. Jenny was willing to take on that challenge of supporting students through an entire semester of genetics at a time when our graduate TA support had shrunk drastically, to the extent that we had no TAs from the graduate level this semester that Jenny was helping us out. And it was because of her efforts, her incredible reliability, just the ability to dig in and understand and explain the nuances that we felt confident in not having graduate TAs for that course again, and I cannot say enough about Jenny's intelligence, dedication, and potential. Whatever you end up doing, she has been successful in so many fronts here and contributed in many, many ways to the department and is extremely deserving of this award. So thank you very much for everything that you do.
All right, and our awardee for graduate student is Chai-Chin Wong. Speaking for her is Dr. Jennifer Rhodes.
All right, I'm back. I am Jenny Rausch, again, assistant professor in the biochemistry department, and it's my pleasure to introduce this year's graduate student winner of the American Institutes of Chemists Award, Sai-Chin Wang. Sai-Chin is a fifth-year PhD graduate student in the Molecular and Cellular Biology graduate program here at UMass, and is also an Institute of Applied Life Sciences graduate translational fellow. From the outset of her graduate training, she has distinguished herself through exceptional combination of scientific rigor, creativity, and determination. I usually joke that she is an absolute force in the lab. She has an instinct for research that is difficult to teach. She has an ability to identify important questions and pursue them with both precision and persistence. In the lab, Sai-Chin leads a highly ambitious and translational project focused on identifying small molecules that disrupt the interaction between the neurodegenerative protein tau and its cellular receptor LRP1. This is a pathway that we have shown to be critical in neurodegenerative disease progression. This work spans disciplines, combining protein biochemistry, chemical biology, cell-based assay development, and Sai-Chin has optimized the production of key proteins, developed multiple complementary assays to monitor their binding. She's led a large-scale DNA-encoded library screen of over 4 billion molecules. From this effort, she has already identified and validated several promising candidate molecules, which we are now advancing through detailed biochemical and cellular characterization in our lab and through multiple collaborations. What stands out most about Sai-Chin's work is not just its scale or its technical sophistication, but her ability to drive it forward. She approaches complex problems with clarity and resilience, consistently finding solutions where others might stall or give up. She also plays a central role in coordinating our collaborations and integrating data across platforms, demonstrating both scientific leadership and strong organizational skills. Beyond the bench, Sai-Chin is an intellectual leader in the lab. She elevates scientific discussions, mentors junior trainees, and brings a level of enthusiasm and curiosity that is both motivating and contagious. Sai-Chin is consistently the one in group meeting who always has a question, no matter the topic, no matter what anyone has said. This sets a standard in the lab for junior trainees, and it elevates the level of discussion, which is something that I truly value about Sai-Chin's contributions. Sai-Chin is an outstanding scientist whose work exemplifies the spirit of the AIC Award, and it's been a privilege to mentor her and watch her contributions take flight. Congratulations, Sai-Chin.
All right, and our postdoctoral awardee is Dr. Priyanka Gupta. Speaking for her is Dr. Swami Matthew.
Okay. So as a PI, there are moments when you recognize someone special in your lab, and Priyanka has been one of those very people from the beginning. She joined my lab, she came from India last year in June, and it has been a very intense and productive year. Okay. She's a highly accomplished scientist with a deep expertise in plant biochemistry, all centered on understanding how plants make and use these complex chemical compounds. Her graduate research focused on understanding the biosynthetic pathways of citronella, and this is a component of essential oils in aromatic grasses such as lemongrass. And so you'll probably know that from the tea. For the tea drinkers, it's the tea we drink, and also the scent in the roses. In our lab, her research centers on our model legume species that produces terpenes, and these are small, powerful compounds that have critical roles in plant defense and communication. What makes her work compelling is how it connects the chemical diversity to real biological questions and basically answers questions on how plants respond to stress and pathogen attacks. And that's what her research focuses on. She has recently identified biosynthetic pathways or biosynthetic steps that make critical components of these chemical products in the roots of these particular legumes. And this provides us fundamental insights on just how natural products change over time, so how they've evolved and they've changed in the different types of plants, and also the environmental conditions. And it opens doors for applications in terms of synthetic biology as well as crop improvement. And her work has already attracted significant interest, and she'll be presenting it at an annual Phytochemical Society meeting in Wisconsin this summer. Most importantly, or equally as important, is that she's a dedicated mentor, and she is very interested in communication of science. She has mentored all the undergrads in the lab in the first year, and also she has played a part in our summer outreach program, and has spoken about how plants are chemists too. And this is inspiring to young students to see plants and chemistry in a new way and in the living world. So in every respect, in terms of scientific creativity, in terms of productivity, and in terms of mentorship and enthusiasm, Priyanka exemplifies the qualities this award is meant to recognize. And I am grateful to her and the contributions she's made to the lab.
All right, our last set of awards is another long list. And this is the award for excellence in biochemistry and molecular biology. This is given for academic achievement as a BMB major. And these are the people whose grade point averages are effectively equivalent to perfect. We have a number of them, and so once again, we're going to read your name. Please come up. We have a token for you. And you may applaud, but please, they're all very deserving, so try not to drown out the next name. And also awardees, as you come up, we want you to gather over there. We'll do one big picture at the end. So speaking the names are Dr. Becky Miller and Dr. Scott Garman.
Our first Excellence in Biochemistry Award winner is Anna Atanasova.
Annalie Carroll.
Erin Connolly.
Elsa Cranston.
Kirtana Gangureddy.
Rachel Griffiths.
Jenny Heath.
Sai Nirmal Karunanati.
Adam LaChapelle.
Stephen Lanich.
Jadine Lee.
Ryan Levitan.
Eddie Lee.
Merger Limonage.
Hao Fang Lin.
Darsh Patel.
Sai Reddy.
Leonardo Scaramozza.
David Spiewak.
Nicole Steinmeier.
Ben Tang.
Samai Trivedi.
Anna Vincent.
Andrew Weiner.
Jiawei Wu.
Ube Yajurvedi.
Joyce Long.
So that is all of our awards, and it's been long enough so we have no more prepared closing remarks. We do have food, so please feel free to stick around and have some food and get some pictures in front of the banner. And let's please take a minute to congratulate once again all of our awardees that were here today.